Guys, what's up? This is John here, and we were recording this on Christmas Eve. So I know I was a bit short on time, what with the kids and just the whole family having the holiday off. So kind of editing videos and all that stuff, it's a bit of a crunch. And I really wanted to bring, well, first a video in time for Christmas, but also the particular product that we are going to discuss today. And that is specifically Barrister and Mann's Omnibus Shave Soap Base. And the scent I have picked out, or the scent that I purchased it in, is Vespers. So Vespers is back. Vespers is my favorite of all time Barrister and Mann scent, and it's a great one at that. So we're doing this live. I want to give a little time for people to jump on. You might hear me repeat what we're using today, but that's kind of par for the course. Again, it's fun to have these live interactions with you guys and still have a video afterwards for people to watch at their own leisure. So if you're tuning in live and you're here, let me know. I just want to make sure that the chat is working. Of course, this is interactive, so say hello and say where you're watching from, and I'll leave you like a minute or so as I get other things ready in the shave. But I think, yeah, so if you're here, let me know. I think usually the chat just starts rolling. I'm always a little, you can tell, I'm a little paranoid that it's not properly working, but let's see what else. I hope you guys are doing well, and this holiday season is treating you and your loved ones as best as can be. Oh, you know what I forgot? My lighting. Let's switch it up. All right. So this is more my, what you saw was like the old lighting, and then this is my more fancier setup. Hey Alex, good morning. Watching from East Tennessee. Tim from Tim Shaves, how's it going? Okay, thanks guys, appreciate it. Like I said, it's good. Like, are the messages working? Are they not? I never know. I never know until I hear from you guys. But if you're doing a holiday-themed shave, if you're doing a Christmas-themed shave, feel free, share in the chat. Let's exchange info and find out what we're using. I'm not planning on shaving tomorrow, Christmas Day, because I typically shave every other day, if not slightly more spaced out than that. So this is essentially my Christmas shave. Tim says he's going with Sterling Christmas Eve. Very, very on the nose and very, very appropriate. Okay, I think I got the angle okay there. Yeah, so say hello, share what your holiday shave is going to be. Mine's going to be Vespers in the new Omnibus base, and I've not used this before. I've not used this base before. I do have Vespers in the previous Excelsior base. I do believe, if memory serves me correctly, Vespers might have been the first release in that base in Excelsior back 2 years ago. Hello from Central Europe. Hey, greetings. I'm gonna try to say your username. Borbely Has. Anyway, regardless, thanks for jumping on the live today. But yeah, so Vespers in the new base. And first off, love that label. This hasn't changed. This is the same label from before. And when I showed you before, it's nice that Barrister and Mann is saying which soap base it's in. So that can be confusing from different artisans, especially if they have multiple bases. Even within the year, they have base updates. So I like the fact that you clearly know what you're working with. Now, I know other YouTubers and folks in the community have used this Omnibus base, and I know this will not do it justice, but there are a lot of ingredients in this base, guys. all that, all those ingredients. Also off the tub. So this smells a little bit differently. I do have the original one as well, and how it differs to me, this is stronger. The scent is stronger in this tub. I would say this is probably a 6 or 7 out of 10. The original release, I think it's more muted. Even like, granted, it's 2 years old now, but I would say that the Excelsior base soap formulas in general, no matter who it is, will mute certain notes in a scent, and in general, it'll kind of bring down the scent strength a bit. This smells very, very close to what you get in the eau de parfum, the fragrance version of it. So where I think someone who's only used the original one will find it different, that's actually what, that's what actually the perfume smells like. So I think that's good. It's more to me. It's signaling more transparency with this new soap base. So already, this performance aside, the fact that it's going to represent the different scents of Barrister and Mann better, that's a win in my book. And let's catch up with some. Okay, so Borbely Haze. I think I said that correctly. That's what that's what he said. Stuart George, how's it going? And it sounds like you use Vespers as well. And greetings from the UK. Awesome. Alex Armstrong asks, I haven't tried any B&M soaps yet. What's a good starting point? Thanks. So Vespers is a winter seasonal, I should mention. So this will be in production through, I would say, end of February. It is one of my favorites, so it's not everyone's favorite though, so I wouldn't necessarily start here. They have a few scents that are available year-round. I would say start with one of those. Seville is their take on barbershop, and it's got a big hit of citrus in there. So if the citrus barbershop sounds good to you, try Seville. If not, there is a Earl Grey type scent where the citrus note bergamot is really at the forefront. That's called Cheshire. Those two, I would say, if you never tried Barrister and Mann before, those are two very safe scents, Seville and Cheshire. And I'm sure the chat can also offer their suggestions. There are a lot of polarizing scents, love or hate, so like those are like the seasonal scents that Barrister and Mann offers. I think trying to go with something a little safer for your first time might be the better call. But if you kind of know, if you share with us your scent preferences, we can probably steer you in the right direction, Alex. DK, good morning. What is up? Let me share. DK is a huge fan of Vespers as well. He says it's the GOAT. I agree. Stuart George recommends Le Grand Chypre from Barrister and Mann. Yeah, so chat's interacting. That's great. Let me show you what else we got for the shave today. Well, first, I did not buy another aftershave splash. I don't know about you guys. I have not finished any aftershave bottles because in general, I use soap faster than aftershaves. So this is still from the original release. Nothing fancy about that. For the razor, this is my second go with the Gillette English flat bottom tech. These were techs made in England and only in England, and the head geometry is a little different. I absolutely loved my first shave with this one, so I'm actually quite excited to use this again. It is very smooth, it is very efficient, and this is on loan from my buddy Anthony. So thank you. It's always worth shouting out your friends, right? This one also, some people noted when I posted my video using this last time in my photo, my shave of the day photo, that the handle is a bit different. It's not like the regular fat handle tech. It's a little thinner, and overall it's a light razor. It's these Gillettes were brass, or made of brass and nickel plated. So also I just left in the Polsilver Super Iridium blade here. And so that's where we go with the razor. Oh, hey Gerard, what's going on? Alan, hello, thanks for joining. And then Alex said, a fan of Earl Grey, so I'll most likely try that. Yeah, so you want to, Alex, try out Cheshire, like the cat. Yeah. And DK confirms that Vespers is it's his all-time favorite scent in wet shaving. So I'm sure he's excited that it came back for this year. And really, it's been fun seeing people experience that scent for the very first time. Again, I know it's not gonna be everyone's favorite, but it's up there for me. Gerard, I'm using Vespers in the Omnibus vase. And lastly, for the brush, Simpson Trafalgar T3. And this is a great synthetic brush. Still one of my favorites as far as synthetic brushes go. Awesome bang for your buck, and just a classy design. It looks like a Simpson brush, but not your typical Simpson prices. Alan asks, what is the best gap on Wolfman you have tried? That's smooth and comfortable. Alex, I have only used one Wolfman, and it was actually like 2 years ago on loan from a friend. And it's one of my very first YouTube videos. So it's like really short. It's like, I think, barely 2 minutes long. And I was still figuring things out, but that's the last time I used it, was 2 years ago. I know there's all different blade gaps and stuff. So I can't, off the top of my head, I don't remember which one it was. That one was super smooth though. It's probably, if I ever purchased a Wolfman, I guess I would consider that one. I would consider the one that I borrowed. But at the same time, given how big of a, how much money it costs, I would probably look to borrow a couple of other, like maybe one setting down and one setting up, just to make sure I make the right choice. But the Wolfman, I'm sorry, I'm just lathering up here. But Wolfman in general, it's above the price point at which I'm comfortable paying for a razor. And that's no shade to Wolfman, because I'm happy to use them. And then there's no knocks against it. If that's your favorite razor, go for it, because that thing was, the polish on it, the best I've ever seen. Really, it looks like a luxury piece. But yeah, so I think my personal cap is like anything that's 300 or above. I don't usually, I'm not really considering. I might even lower that a little bit, but I would say comfortably I can say like razors are 300 and above. I'm not, unless there's a shift in my financial situation. And it's kind of similar with brushes. I realized it's probably that same. Actually, 300 for one piece of shave gear. It's probably too much for me. There's the load, and I forgot to show you. This is not obviously it's after I lathered it, but. So Alan, I can't speak to the different gaps on the Wolfman, but there's certainly other YouTubers who you can look to do some research. Tim also says, yeah, I haven't had interest in Wolfman yet. Yeah, again, if I get the chance to try it, by all means, I love just being a wet shaving enthusiast. I just love trying different stuff, but to actually pay what I'm comfortable paying. Just like with cars, if you're buying a new car, or rather, if you're just buying a new for you car, you might get used and get a nicer brand car that way. Your budget might be a Porsche, and that's why if you can afford it, by all means, go ahead. But with shaving gear, if I found it and I really loved it, I'd save up. I'm all for financial responsibility, budgeting yourself, and does that mean I don't, instead of picking up a bunch of new soaps for a couple months, I save towards a Wolfman? Yeah, I could totally do that. one path I've seen people do who are really, in this as hobbyists, is they pare down their collection and move it all, the funds of those sales go towards a bigger ticket item, a nicer brush, nicer razor. I'm someone who is attracted to the to living like a minimalist, but really I'm a hoarder, collector at heart. So those are kind of the dueling dual nature of it. For those of you not familiar with Vespers, though, the main notes are called out right here on the lid, and that is cranberry, balsam, mousse de saxe, and fern. This is a green scent that leans towards more like pine evergreen. Cranberry, like there's a fruity sweetness to it, but it's not, I don't think it'd be something that's obviously detectable as cranberry. So it's not a scent that you see that often. I know Katie's Bubbles has, I believe it's called Cape Cod cranberry. Either has or had at one point. Hey Darcy, good morning, how are you? Yeah, Tim, I'm with you. So Tim's saying I like the variety, so it's hard to pare down to a couple. Same thing. I rather spend like most of my collection of razors, since we're talking a lot. Funny enough, we're talking a lot about razors, is the mid-range price. So anything that's like around 100, or a little bit over, a little under, is fine. I'm finding I maybe loaded a little heavier than I needed to. I'm working with about 3 days worth of growth too. I did not mention that. But this is still really pasty. And this is a first impressions video. So obviously I'll need more tests than that, but. As far as the other Barrister and Mann, like the recent bases, I'm fans of both. I never had any problems with Excelsior. I know some people hate it. And like one version before that better, the Glissant. I never had problems with Excelsior. And Barrister and Mann also had the soft hard base, which kind of were the smaller runs. That's quite an excellent base too. This one's working out really nicely though. Certainly could take its water, but again, I loaded the crap out of the brush. Actually, since we're talking a lot about razors, I was so impressed with that flat bottom tech that I eventually got pointed to fellow YouTuber and friend of the channel, HD Shaves. Actually, Gerard pointed me his way, saying because he usually has some flat bottom text lying around, English flat bottom text lying around. So I've actually already gotten in touch with HD, and he hooked me up with one. So it's on the way. I really fell in love with that razor. All right. I think we have this lather at a good place here. Oh, so we're going in with the first pass of the tech. I got a few questions here right now. Let's address those before I get in the first pass. Hey Mark, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in from Colorado. And then Alan saying, you are 100% right. Now as per Wolfman Gaps and WR2, oh yeah, all those letters, WR2 DC 1.15 straight bar, and 0.95 open comb, and WR1 DC 0.54 worked for me so far, having sensitive skin and prone to irritation. Okay, so you've tried quite a few. I know Alan is a big razor guy and does actually a very good job. Speaking of like some of the best some of the best polishing on razors I've seen, Alan does an awesome job. And then Alex is asking, is chiseled face a good formula? Ooh, that's a good question. It's not, Alex, it's not one of my regulars. Guess what? I think I just started shaving without a blade in here. Did I take the blade out? There's no blade in here. Oh god. Oh my god. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. Oh, okay. Well, I must have. It feels too smooth to be true. I don't even feel the blade, guys. I don't even feel the blade. Oh man, that well, there you go. There's a hilarious blooper for you, and that's why live is fun sometimes. I have a Gillette Nasset. I don't want to waste your time too much, so I'm gonna put a Nasset in here because that's what's already available. I must have taken it out for some reason when I took the shave of the day photo. That's so funny. I don't know why I would do that because I knew I was gonna be using this for the next few shaves. That means there's a pole silver lying around somewhere in my office. Alright, so I reapplied my lather there. There's a Gillette Nasset today. This Nasset, actually, I'm curious how this will perform because it's got a little more sharpness. Oh, okay, and then let's see what here. Tim says nice, flat bottom tech. It's like the golden tech from what I hear. That's what I heard too, and I like it better than the original tech, although the original tech is just fine too. Alan says, as per brushes, John, I love Wolf Whiskers and Paladin 26mm, such as PK47. Yep. I found the, Alan, for the Paladin brushes, what knot you get is really a toss-up. And it's nice that they have those little cards. If you buy a Paladin brush, typically it comes with a little card with the kind of vital info, including what knot is in there. But it's kind of a little bit of a game of roulette as far as quality of the knot. I've borrowed the PK47 before. Love the handle, and the pores are excellent too. But the hair, like the actual knot, was only like okay. So I rather have a Maggard super high density knot to be honest at that time. And then I had bought a Samurai, like a beautiful Samurai, 28mm. That was actually a nice knot, but I just didn't use it that much. I found that the Samurai handle wasn't as comfortable as other ones, although it looked gorgeous. And then the 28mm, I think most of the knots are bulb shaped. I prefer, as a face latherer, I prefer fan shape or like semi-fan shape. So I don't currently own any Paladin brushes. And back to Alex's question about chiseled face. There's two formulas. So the standard formula is probably middle of the road. It's perfectly serviceable. I think I placed it in my tier system. It's a B tier shave soap, so you know, it'll do just fine. They do have a luxury formula as well, and which I've used before. I would say it's moderate improvement over the standard formula. It's got some extra fancy ingredients in there in comparison, and the price difference isn't too bad. I think it's nice to have that other option. But Chiseled Face, I think as far as scent wise, nothing has really ever like captured my attention. I think Sherlock I had liked based off a sample, but not enough to pick up a full tub. That being said, if you find a scent that you like from them, I'd say try it. I wouldn't steer you away from trying Chiseled Face by any means. I can also confirm there is stubble in the sink. So, and the NASA blade actually feels quite nice. So far, slickness in the soap, very nice. Honestly, I wasn't too worried about the omnibus base in that I've liked all the other Barrister and Mann formulas. So if it's an improvement, it's an improvement. But I wasn't in a rush to try it. That being said, I'm very excited to have it in hand today. Alan says, I do some of master polishing finishes, and I do it as a hobby and show my capabilities as a horology guy. I'm not sure what horology is. Is it... I'm trying to break that word apart. I kind of remember, Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you do polishes with some either jewelry or watches as well? Maybe, I don't know if horology has anything to do with that. Coming into wet shaving, sure, why not to bring my skills when I can, as it's time consuming. I've heard polishing is very time consuming. Tim Shave says Summer Storm is a great scent, evokes that rainy vibe. That's Chiseled Face scent. Oh, aha, I was right. Okay, watchmaker and watch collector. I do remember things sometimes, Alan. I do. I do. Lather up for a second pass here. It's funny with that NASA blade and how each blade performs with really differs, right, from what razor you put it in. Like I said, I usually kind of bust it out when I want something that has a little more sharpness rather than smoothness to it. And it pairs very nicely in this flat bottom tech. I kind of like the NASA. I used to go to like feather for my sharpest blade, but I don't know. The last few times I've used feather, the results haven't been that great. To the point where kind of whatever unopened packs of feather blades I have, I think I'm just gonna. It's quite a few. I think I'm just gonna bundle them together and sell them off. I really don't reach for them, and where I would have reached for them, like even in the regular Gillette Tech, I think I like the NASA better. But yeah, I mean, and then just going back to the soap base, man, like just look at the sheen on this, guys. There are some soaps that are just fun to lather. This one is one of them. I could just do this all day. Which made me think, any Marvel fans out there who finished up Hawkeye? There's this great gag where they have within that world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's a musical called Rogers. it's a Captain America and Avengers musical. They really committed to that joke, and there's a song, the song that they perform is I could do this all day. I have that stuck in my head right now. So, if you have any idea what I'm talking about, you can make a comment. Let me know as I do this against the grain pass. The Hawkeye is a really good series. No spoilers. I'm not one for spoilers, but I really enjoyed it. 6 episodes. Takes place during Christmas, holiday season in New York City. Very excellent. Last weekend I saw the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. Super good movie. Hits you in the feels, but there are just certain things that aren't going to be able to happen in any other movie. Talk about, well, it's hard to talk about without any spoilers, so really enjoyable. Oh, hey Nate, what's up? Nate of BBS.live. What is going on, buddy? Sorry, I missed you there. Alan has a question. Have you tried Saponificio Versino Lather Grail Bowl? I truly enjoy it, John. Give it a try sometime. Lather Grail Bowl. I don't know that one. I've tried SV. I have. Oh, what scent do I have? Opuntia? I think that's the scent I have. That's actually a gift. Very nice. Very nice, creamy. I think that's one of the creamy vegan soap. Alan, thanks for the recommendation. I'll look into that. One that I'd love to try is from SV is the Fougere. Is it Felce Aromatico? Sorry, Italians, butchering your language. Felce Aromatico. That's one I've heard great things about. In general, they have very pleasant scents. They're not straight, the scents I don't think are straight dupes of anything in particular, but sometimes you can tell like, oh, that one smells kind of like their take on Aventus with a few permutations. The one I have, Opuntia, I want to say it's kind of like similar to Aqua di Gio, but they kind of also added this note of cactus fruit, which was, either way, it's very pleasant, cologne, light, mass appealing. Oh, and Alan's saying, it's a shaving bowl, and Sharpologist had a very good review. And as per soaps, best I had is Arctica Tundra. Okay. And Cubebe. Okay, so yeah, so Opuntia I have in the soap, and Cubebe, which is a tobacco scent, I have that in the aftershave splash. Tim asked a good question. Any dupes you'd like to see next year? Let me think about that. There are. One is Prada L'Homme. There's a few flankers like Prada L'Homme Intense, but it's a clean, like anytime use masculine scent that uses iris. Quite frankly, I'm not sure why it hasn't made it into the shaving world yet. I think it'd do pretty well. It's a scent that, like, if you're like, oh, iris, comes off too feminine or too floral, Prada L'Homme is the one that's going to convert you. And I talked a little bit about it when I did that Barrister and Mann winter list, and I talked about Eigengrau, which it's more challenging. It's an iris scent as well, but it's definitely more challenging. I'd love to see Prada L'Homme or something similar to it come out as a dupe. That is one trend that I like this year, and it was one that on Lather Talk Jard and I have talked about before. Either soap artisans, soap makers partnering with perfumers, or going more into niche scents and doing dupes of those. So First Line Shave chooses some excellent scents, honestly, and they have a great base too. I'd like to get my hand on their new release, Illustrious Oud, because I actually have a dupe of the scent that's based on, Initio's Oud for Greatness. What else off the top? I don't think about what I'm doing. I'm just doing a quick cleanup pass down here. That's at the top of my list though, Tim. Alan asks, what is your view on Noble Otter soaps? For me, with sensitive skin, it works next to B&M, but again, it's subjective. I like Noble Otter soaps. I think they have a great formula. It's sometimes it's a little bit similar to Barrister and Mann, where the scents that Noble Otter puts out can be a little polarizing. So you kind of like a little research, or go off of a friend's recommendation is definitely the way to go. That being said, I think Firefighter is one that's out right now. Very approachable. It's a woody aquatic scent. And actually some of the proceeds go to supporting firefighters as well. So yeah, that's an extra bonus. Hey Robert, how's it going? Good morning. So Firefighters are my number 2 from Noble Otter. My number 1 is Thé Noir Aveni, and that's a sweet black tea scent with notes of strawberry and vanilla. That's probably my all-time favorite from Noble Otter. And Cody from Noble Otter was a recent guest on the podcast too. So if you didn't catch that one, I know sometimes those long form, like hour-long episodes aren't for everyone, but if you guys ever see an artisan or a guest that you like, I can't not recommend checking out the podcast episode with them. But yeah, face feel on Omnibus is very, very nice. I'm just gonna say, Barrister and Mann is still in my S tier. There was no doubt in my mind that this would be a bad soap, but very good. It maintains the level of quality that we've come to expect from Barrister and Mann. I'm glad to say. Just checking to see. All right, let's finish off with the splash. Efficiency is good. I think it just comes out. I could always slow down, and sometimes just in doing the chatting, I'm not fully paying attention to the shave itself. I'm running on autopilot. But yeah, Vespers, amazing scent. After this, I'll probably go upstairs where my fragrances are. I'll spray some Vespers on too. I know right now the eau de parfum or whatever the fragrance version isn't available. I do think they are inbound. I think Will from Barrister and Mann is waiting on the bottles, I believe, or some aspect of the packaging. So if you really like Vespers, if you try out the soap and splash and really love the scent, like I do, and like many others do, like DK does, you might want to check out that fragrance. The pricing actually is not. It's actually very surprisingly low on the Barrister and Mann shaving scents. So yeah, check out that Vespers frag. Let's see. Alan says you should bring Will Carrius next time to see what's new for future plans and projects. We did have Will before. We actually really loved the conversation we had with Will on Lather Talk. it might be time to have him on again. We do have a bunch of guests that will line up, I think, through the spring, so it might have to wait till the fall, Alan. But I always love talking to Will, and if there's enough demand, I can bump him up in the queue and see if he's available. But Vespers, Omnibus base, excellent, excellent scent. My favorite Barrister and Mann, which automatically thumbs up because yeah. And then on the tier, it maintains, it strongly maintains its S tier rank in my book at the very least. So if you haven't tried this one, guys, give it a go. Whether you're like driven to try out the new soap because you like trying new soaps, or you've heard so much about the scent. Again, it's not for everyone, so I don't want to like. I try my best not to overhype something, but if I'm enthusiastic about something, I definitely want to let you guys know about that too. It's that balance. I try to maintain really enjoyable scent through and through. And English flat bottom tech, like I said, I've already gotten, I've purchased one from a friend. And again, it's HD Shaves. He's here on YouTube. Excellent content. Check him out. He's really lean this past year. I feel like he's really leaned into the vintage razors. He got into gem razors, possibly either this past year or maybe even it might have been 2020, seeing as that year was kind of a bit of a blur. But excellent content, great guy all around, and yeah, I'm happy that I'll soon have my own in my collection, and I can send this one back to my buddy Anthony. I think. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else to mention about the shave. I know we're going past the 40-minute mark, so for all of you who stopped by the live, for those who stayed the whole time, really appreciate hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and of course, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a happy holidays, and I might pre-record some things to release next week while I'm visiting family. So if that's the case, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you guys. And I'll be seeing you very soon. So take care. Hope all is well. See you.